So I'm Dawn, back with Dr. Lori. And you know, I'm somebody, I'm so sentimental. And I know a lot of you are. I mean, you're sentimental and you love your family history.
Sure.
So I've got a house full of stuff like this. I'm sure it's not valuable to anybody else, but to me, this stuff is priceless because it's part of my family history.
Right. And most of us believe this. Oh, it's mine, and because I didn't come from particular wealth, or because we weren't collectors, or because of whatever reasons, my stuff isn't valuable just because it's mine. And that's just not the case. Sometimes, you know, yes, you have fabulous family stories, but you don't want to automatically think it's not valuable just because it's mine. So we have to think about that. And I mean monetarily valuable. We know that it's all sentimentally valuable. So, and the sentiment is important first because the stories are cool. And that's what we like to see. You know, you told me a great story that I will share, maybe I should, about that table that you said that you loved the figures and the women on that table. And that's why when you were a little kid, you enjoyed that table. And now it's in your home for your kid.
Yeah, it was Aunt Esther's table, my Graham's sister. And I just, you know, obviously they're voluptuous ladies on the legs. And I was like, ooh, you know, and I loved it. So she left that to me, like her little radio table, she called it.
Well, and you explained that a radio would sit on it. These are benches that usually would have a piece of material or textile on it, fabric, so you can actually sit on it. But then sometimes that gets lost over time in what you have. What you have here is called an Egyptian Revival table. Dates to about the 1920s. In 1922, we exhumed King Tut's tomb, and we decorate our houses in everything that's Egyptian. And that's what this table is.
Oh, wow.
Egyptomania is what this table is. And that's a nice piece, and that's about a $450 table.
Oh, wow,
It's
that's
very
so
nice,
neat.
and it has a good family connection for you.
Oh, wonderful.
So probably worth more than the $450 to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But now I won't let the kids use it for a Nerf gun blockade or anything, right?
Right.
Hey.
Hey, you know. And this is another piece. Tell us about your cameo.
This was my Graham, my Violet, my dad's mom,
Okay.
Violet Stensland, and this was her cameo. And I, on my wedding day, wrapped it around my bouquet
How nice.
stems, and she lived with us, and she was, you know, my heart and soul. I love her.
This
so.
is a beautiful piece, and probably a piece that was not made in the United States.
Oh.
This piece probably was made somewhere abroad and then brought here.
She was Scandinavian.
Okay, because
so.
this particular piece is of far superior carving quality than what we would see in the United States in the same time period. So value on this piece in the secondary market, which means if you're going to sell it today as an antique, it's about $1,200.
Wow.
That's a very nice piece. It's in very good condition, and it is actually set in copper over silver. Basically, it's a piece of copper, and then they put silver on top, or dipped silver. Very nice. That's a nice piece.
Yeah, I treasure it.
Yes, and the carving being so exact is why it's so valuable.
I'll be darned.
Yeah,
There's
nice.
something.
Military collectibles.
Military stuff. This stuff belonged to, when my dad was a little boy, his grandfather, who was Mons Andrew Stensland, who was born in he died in 1946 at the age of 96.
Okay.
And so he had come to this country from Norway on the boat, you know, talked like this, don't you know?
Right.
And went to Minnesota, ended up in Chicago. So he fought in some battles along the way, obviously.
Right. The whole idea, of course, of claiming the territory of the Midwest. So everywhere, Minnesota and South Dakota and these kinds of places, and places where, you know, your family still hail. This particular jacket is a military uniform jacket that dates to the 19th century, anytime between 1850 and 1875. It's a beautiful condition. Every single button is worth $15 just for the buttons.
Oh my goodness.
And the entire element, or the entire piece, is going to have a secondary market value just about $400. So that's a nice piece too. You've got another $400 here in this helmet, which dates to World War I. So now you've got a couple of different skirmishes, battles, wars going on. Then you've got this.
And this was Aunt Esther's, the same one with the Egyptian bench thing going on.
Right.
This was Aunt Esther's old doll. And I was honored because she chose me to have her, you know, left me her doll, even above her daughter and all the other grandchildren. So
because she knew you'd respect it and take care of it.
She did. I love dolls, and she was born in 1898. I know that about Aunt Esther.
Your doll is made of something that you might recognize called celluloid, which is an early plastic which is introduced in the early years of the 19-teens. So from 1910 to about 1915, celluloid is introduced. It's very highly flammable. It's an early plastic. So we don't want to have a cigarette around it.
Okay,
you're
no
not a
smoking.
smoker.
Yeah, we're not smokers,
But
so.
basically, that's what you're looking at. So be careful of that. Condition is to antiques what location is to real estate. It's got to be in good shape. If you want to keep any of your dolls in good shape, No cardboard boxes.
Which she was in an old shoebox forever.
And you can see because it's off-gassed on her face. But that's okay. Now we're just going to take better care of her, right? And value on your doll is just about $150.
Aw,
yeah.
that's neat.
To take better care of her, wrap her in a hand towel. White cotton would be good. And then place her in one of those Tupperware or any other kind of plastic container.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be airtight. It just has to be free of anything acidic, which is cardboard. That's where we come to books.
Yeah.
Okay? Because books really are very fragile. And we want to make sure that the Bobbsey twin books, which is only worth about $4 because so many of them were produced, has a strong spine. And when you smell it, there's no odor. Because if you can smell it, you can't sell it.
Okay.
Okay? So you want to make sure there's no odor in your old books. And books prefer, like you and I, to sunbathe. Lie them on their back.
Oh, okay.
Don't
That's
have them
interesting.
upright like a soldier.
Okay.
Okay, so pretty easy. And who has that pretty pocketbook?
So, isn't this pretty?
Yeah, I
This-
think that's
I
pretty.
think this was just at a yard sale.
Oh, that's
This was something,
beautiful.
a
So-
friend picked up at a yard sale.
So now this piece is a piece which is obviously from about the 1930s to the 1940s, okay, because we're putting more in our pocketbooks at this time. And that's an
Beaded.
evening purse, beaded with seed pearls, faux pieces, you know, faux.
Oh, yeah.
So not real diamonds, but you've got some faux pearls and such, and value on that about $90.
Isn't that great though?
Yeah,
great
that's
little
a great
find.
piece. Yeah. At my events, a lot of people will bring those types of pieces, and a lot of people will say, you know, what do I do with it if I don't want it? So make sure you have a value for it, a comparable sales record. Someone has paid so much money for an object like that. That's how you know what they're really worth, and not what people are just saying, oh, this is worth this, this is worth that, this is worth. You have to know that somebody actually wrote a check, paid cash, swiped a credit card for an object like that. That's the real value,
Oh,
not
okay.
just what people are talking about.
Okay.
And then you've got a plate.
Very pretty.
That's a pretty plate. And the best way to tell quality in a plate, turn it over and look for the bright white clay. You got a million marks. You're going to drive yourself crazy trying to learn marks. You have enough to do in your life. Look for bright white Clorox color clay.
Okay.
The purer the clay, the more valuable. This piece is
looks
made
pretty
in
white.
Germany, and this piece has a decorative element, 22 karat gold banding, and hand painted. And this is one of the 4 seasons. This is autumn, and it says it on the back. That's how I know. Value on this is about $75.
Oh,
That's
it's
a nice
beautiful,
piece.
isn't
It's
it?
beautiful.
It's really pretty.
A cabinet plate, not intended to eat off of, because
Okay.
we have a decoration for the cabinet, just for pretty. My mother would say, for nice, Lori. Yeah.
And?
An oleograph. Remember when Mom said, pass me the oleo? She wanted
Oh,
she
yeah.
wanted the fake butter. Oleograph is a fake painting. It looks like a painting, but actually it's a print, trying to look like a painting. So what they can do with pieces like that, which is why I always tell people, you know, invest the $8 and get a loop. Take a really good look. If you see consistent dot patterns on prints or works on paper, you probably have something that's not too valuable. Okay? They can trick you very easily.
Okay.
So be careful of prints.
But it's pretty. I mean, I love
It
it.
is
so
pretty.
It's, you
It's
know.
decorative. It's not hurting anybody. It's just not going to make us millionaires. We still have to play Powerball, you know.
And we'll listen. We're going to have more fun. We're going to talk a little bit more about what you're doing next.
Okay.
And we'll be right back with Dr. Lori.
Lots of fun. Thanks,
Yeah.
Dawn.